Hello, good evening. Good evening, welcome. My name is Obinako. Welcome. I want to share with you tonight a quest for financial knowledge. A quest for financial knowledge. As somebody who is an entrepreneur, somebody who wants to make some progress with your finances, the quest for it, for the knowledge, is very much important. Many people struggle all their lives with finances. Many people will go through a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties with their finances. Basically, at the personal level, most people would depend on their salary largely to take care of everything that they have to take care of. And when it comes to the people who are trying to build business entrepreneurs, there is a lot that you have got to learn. And you cannot run business, or you cannot develop a company with a very weak financial information or financial knowledge it brings. So I share with you briefly on what I call a quest for financial knowledge, a quest for it. It's a quest, it's a journey. You're trying to find out something. And if you're fortunate, and it's not even if you're fortunate, if you don't give up, you're going to find that which will work. Most people are trying to look for uh, progress in their finances. They're trying to get money. Most people are trying to acquire. The fact is, majority of the world's population, maybe 90% or more, all their lives will struggle for money because the world structure, the world system, is been really carved around money, and they have kept a lot of the people in darkness so that we can basically work, for them if there is a conspiracy like that, and has ever occurred to you that they don't try to let those kind of knowledge out at all. Whether it's in school, when you went to school, they were trying to teach us about periodic table, times table, all the things that they talked to us about. But hardly would any of your teachers, from primary to secondary to all the other ones, teach you that money will be important and therefore you have to learn it and learn it maybe even more than the other courses because after all, even if you become the best student, you still go to look for job. And if the job is not paying well, most people will quit and go and look for another job that will pay well. That's why you will see a doctor, you see an engineer, you see a lawyer in our country who will go to another country to work, you know, under less, maybe menial jobs, so to say, for more money. Why? Because most people, in spite of all the school and all the things that they told us to go, the bottom line is the money, and yet they don't teach us about it. So we carry the same thing to our business. We carry the same thing trying to build a company. And that's why most companies, most entrepreneurs will fail and possibly will not even succeed with their business, largely because of the financial knowledge that they have. And so if you decide to build a business, or even if you're not building a business with your life, there are so many problems in this life. And they say that money is not everything, but money can solve a lot of problems for a lot of people. Most people's problem is money. Most people who are trying to, majority of the difficulties that most of the world's population have to deal with is money. And yet, most people will never take their time to even read about it, study about it. And by the time you see it, you're old. Most people just carry hope. You just hope that one day things will change. And the way I see it, things don't change until you have the right footing of knowledge on that which has to change. So if something you want to change, and the knowledge is wrong, it's not so likely that that thing will change in your life. And so if you want to run a business and to make it successful, that you must have the right understanding, the right knowledge in one of the most crucial elements in you as an army that you have to deal with as an entrepreneur, which is finance, which is money, cash. If you have weak understanding of it, you will borrow when you don't need to borrow. You will you will spend when you don't need to spend. And you will destroy a lot of things when you don't have to because you have weak knowledge. You cannot make proper decision with your life. You can only make decisions based on what you know. Nobody is making any intelligent decisions and choices beyond the level of knowledge, the level of knowing that they have. And so if you want to improve with your business activities, if you want to improve with anything connected to your life, the basic one is to improve on the knowledge. And once you improve on the knowledge, the other things will start to make sense and possibly to try to improve. So without right financial knowledge, there's not much that you can build. You can't build a proper business. You will never see any entrepreneur who is successful in building business who does not have the right financial decisions, who is not making the right financial choices and decisions. And the moment you start to make the right financial decisions and choices, it means that you have some level of financial knowledge, which is beyond the average, because most people never study money, never study finances, and yet every one of us is working to get one, and every one of us is looking at not being poor. I can tell you, most humans don't want to be poor. Majority, not everybody, I hope, but most people would want to have some kind of money, at least something that if the child is sick, they can go and buy the medicine, something that they can pay the rent, something that they can pay the school fees, basic life needs. And yet all those decisions are coming from the knowledge that you have with finances. And so the skill that you can build to run a business that is financially a bit stable will call for some level of proper financial knowledge. So you've got to study it. If you don't study it, you will work all your life, and you will even dissipate, you will even waste that what you use your energy to work. And so most people are only occupied with the knowledge that will never improve their financial situations. Most people are occupied with so many things that will never improve their lot. Yes, when they get up in the morning, they say that money, if you don't have enough, when you get up in the morning, that's the only thing that you think about. And the few people who have much money, who have a lot of money, who don't think about it, just about 5% or maybe just around 5% of the world's population, even in well-organized economy, in most prosperous countries in the world. Now, the other countries, majority of the people get up in the morning, they are trying to look for money and how to trick somebody to get one. So you cannot trivialize the importance of having the right financial knowledge, because much of the things that most of the decisions and the activities, the things that you do that are right, that are ethical, that are honest, and the ones that you are trying to kill, you are trying to steal. Most people steal money because they don't have much. Maybe I'm wrong. Most people lie to get it because they don't have money. Most people try to just change all kind of things. I mean, let's say it. Africans, we try to do all kind of things to get ahead. Trying to get ahead with the things that we think will make us successful is what? It's money. Let's face it. If most people have 10 million, 20 million, 50 million somewhere, there are a lot of things that they will not lie on. If they had to be given proper money, they say that this is for you, they will not go and change a lot of things just to, get some contract or, move to somewhere, or even lie, or even be angry with people that you don't have to be angry with. You will not let some people even control you. But sometimes you become sycophant, because that's where your livelihood comes from. That's where they have to pay you. They are insulting you, but you don't have much choice, because that's where if you don't go, the family will not eat. So there's a lot that hangs on money, and yet very few people ever take it as a serious topic and ever even learn it. So most people all their lives just eat from the pay to pay. It doesn't matter the level of education that they get, because really education or degrees don't really make anybody rich. It can make you become a little bit better in terms of serious poverty. It can lift you beyond some level of poverty, but it does not make anybody rich. Because if degrees will make anybody rich, then you should go to Legon, and all the rich guys should be at the university teaching. So those will not make anybody rich. What really makes somebody to have some kind of level of freedom especially those who are building businesses, will be your intention. Intentionally studying this topic, because if you're 30, if you're 40, the likelihood that nobody has ever told you about money and you just glean it from the society, from the culture, from the TV, from the radio, you've not really intentionally sat down constructively to study about finances, and yet you are trying to say that you want to become rich or you want to build a business. If you don't study it, if you don't pick somebody who has done it, if you don't read some knowledge, some book, if you don't listen to some people teaching it constructively, or if you don't start to think about it critically and study this subject, it's likely that you go through it, and the only thing that you will know about money is how to work for it and how to dissipate it. And that will not mean that you overcome the financial struggles that a lot of the world's population struggle. And so a lot of people are occupied with politics. There's so much, in our country. The man is not even a politician, but he gets up in the morning to the evening. Maybe 50% of his time is feeding on politics, or he's feeding on sports, entertainment, or he's chatting with his friends about nothing. And he will never study the money. He will never study the financials. He will never. Some people will never even open any book that talks about money at all. Why? Because they say that God will make them rich. They told us that one when we were 10 years. And now we are far more than 10 years. Because there are principles that every one of us would have to have for us to get the right base. So I'm talking about the quest for financial knowledge. You have to look for it, like the guy who is when he's in the Hamatan, and let's say you went to the farm and your water got finished and you're coming and you're looking for water to drink. That's the kind of test that you have to look for with this financial knowledge, especially if you have some intention to build in a business, or if you have some intention to at least have some level of money to run daily activities. You must look for it. That knowledge would test, with like the way you go and look for water when you're testing. You have to look for that. You have to have a discipline to say that, okay, every month I'm going to buy one financial book and read it. After all, you're working for it. You're working for it. So when you get up in the morning, you're reading Daily Graphic. What are you getting from there? You work, you're complaining that your salary is not much. And yet you're not tooling yourself with the right information that will help you to get more. Because you can't trivialize money. Maybe you are one. Now you have wife and children. More. Most marriages, they say, break apart. Majority of the reasons are related to money. The pressure. When people are saying that they are going through pressure, most people, what they call pressure is really finance. And yet they never improve their financial knowledge. No, don't ever think that it's going to change one day. Don't just hope. Hope without a strategy. Hope without a structure, without a plan, is useless. It will just make you hanging, but nothing will change. Don't just hope. The hope must be backed with a plan, with a strategy, with information, with something that you know that is going to work out. You are doing something with activities. Then the hope is important. Don't just pump me that one day things will be all right. When I don't have direction, when I don't have clarity, when I don't have skill, when I don't have plan, when I don't know what to do. So I'm not talking about hope. I'm talking about you trying to glean, discipline yourself. Go and get some information. There's a lot of data somewhere. Just start somewhere. Get some information. It could be audio, it could be video, it could be book. And discipline yourself. Have a structure to say that this year, we are in April. The other day, it was just January. Now, we are in the 4th month. How many books or how many articles have you read about money? And yet you go to work every day looking for it. For me, it's dangerous. Study about it. It will take a while for you to become skilled in it. It will take you a while for you to accumulate relevant knowledge that can bring results. There's so much that they told us about money that is wrong. That's why we have a lot of poor people or average people. That's why we have a lot of people cheating and lying to get money. Because so much of the knowledge that they told about does not work. If the knowledge on it does not work, it gets to a time you become frustrated because it is not built on something that works. That's true. And if it's not true, then you see that it creates frustration to life. And that has to do with money a lot of the time. So without the right financial knowledge, you don't have a fair chance becoming prosperous with money. And yet, if you don't solve the financial problem, I don't know what other thing that you can solve in this life. Because no matter how much big your vision is, somebody must finance it, and it takes a lot of money. Money is a fuel to vision. Money is a fuel to a lot of things that you're dreaming about. So you must learn it. And there's no better way than creating your own money, knowing what to do to create your own money, and for that money to fuel your vision. So don't depend on school to give you the right kind of information. It's a journey, it's a quest. Don't depend on school. School will never get you that one. So you go to school to get some professional training, some accolades and some formation and some degrees, and everybody will talk about you and stuff like that. But proper way to create wealth, it starts with proper financial knowledge. And so don't depend on school, don't depend on society, don't even look at the radio station, listening to them every time to think that your finances are going to change. It's not likely that your finances are going to change. Religion will not make you rich. We all go to church, we pray to God every day, but it's not the duty of God. Prayer has not made anybody rich. The only people that prayer has made rich are the people who are collecting the money, not the ones who are giving it. So if they say that bring the money and you'll be rich, that is not wholly true. There's a part of it that they are not telling you, which is your wealth is going to be reflected, or is going to reflect, or your knowledge, your financial knowledge is going to reflect the level of finances that you're going to have. It's not the prayer that they're praying for you. It's not all those things that they're telling you. It's the level of financial knowledge that you acquire. If you don't have the right financial knowledge, there's not much that is going to change. That's why you can have people with all kind of accolades, all kind of positions, and the only way that they get ahead with finances, most people, if they depend on only their salary, they're going to struggle. And those are facts of life. If you depend mainly on your salary, you're going to struggle. And so you have to go and look for the right knowledge. And for me, it will take you not less than 10 years for you to have proper financial solid knowledge that can take your part and that can get you to a stage where you create excess revenue more than what you spend, that you can even support and help other people. So if you are just looking how do I get someone to finance me? Start with your knowledge. Study. Sometimes it's not just you need help. Sometimes there's a lot that you can start with where you are. Yes, I agree. Some people need financial support, but most people, if they don't have the financial knowledge intact, the financial support is not needed. It's wasted, because if you give them the money, they will go and waste it. If they give you 1 million Ghana cedis now, and they ask you, what are you going to use that money for? Most people will just go and buy a land and build a house, buy a car, and say that their mother is sick. They want to go and pay something for their mother. Some people even tell you that they want to go and give it to their something, their pastor or something like that. But that's not it. So quest for financial knowledge. I am trying to wrap up, and I'm saying that without the right financial knowledge, you have no chance trying to become financially astute and free. And you cannot run the tape that they told us when we were growing up. That tape is that especially when you're in school and you're very good, you have some brains, they say that this child will be successful. Not financially. Not financially. The financial part is so different, and it's accumulated knowledge. You have to acquire that knowledge yourself. And most people are studying everything. They are reading about so many things, but they forget about the money. Never forget about the money. Study it. Never. Don't listen to people who are telling you that it's not important, it doesn't matter, money is not everything. Hey, listen. Money is everything. If you don't know, go to the hospital now. There are people who are dying right now because they cannot afford the medicine. The only reason that they don't respect us as Africans is because they have tagged us with poverty. Money means a lot in this world. So never buy that lie. Most people don't solve that. Don't solve it. You don't have to become a billionaire, but at least make a step. Strive towards something like that. It's not fun living with poverty. And yet most people think that they will solve the poverty by just no, it starts with right financial knowledge. You know, do you know what they call asset? Do you know what they call liability? If you have money, where would you put it? Well, how would you grow the money? If you have work and you have accumulated 10,000, how do you grow the money? If you have 100,000, how do you grow that money? You have to put money in something that will bring more money. You don't put money into something that is locked when you don't have enough. If you have to go to work every day to depend on salary and you have enough money, don't go and put it in a car thinking, when the car, you buy a big car, and yet you have to go to work every day to receive little money. No, take that money, go and grow it. Read. I'm not here to tell you where to put the money, but if you start to read a lot, study, listen, see it as something that is so much important, I think that everybody can get some substantial amount of money if they start to study. It may not take you 1 day, it may not take you 2 days, you may not have to even steal, lie, cheat to get it. It's just gradual accumulation of money, of the financial knowledge, of the application of the things that you're learning. You know, because it's so much crucial that every one of us gets to have the right kind of financial knowledge. Then we can build a better life, because life is so frustrating when you are in a situation where you have to have enough and there is not much that you have, because you did not study it. So don't just go and study just the course that you are paying all the school fees, and you are hoping that once you finish that course, they will pay you better salary. No matter how much salary they pay you, if you don't have the right setting in terms of financial knowledge, that salary means nothing, because you go and dissipate it. Some people were being paid 10,000. They were living in one single home somewhere. The moment they pay them 20,000, they move. So what difference has it made? It just made them live in a big house and maybe bought a better car. That's all. But in terms of the money to grow it so that they will not have to work again, that one they don't really think of that. Why? Because most people think that the only way to get money is to work for it. So one of the financial things that you also find out is that you don't have to depend on one source of income thinking that you will be able to solve the money problems. You know, because everyone has something. Some people have a lot of money, so they don't know what to do. Some others don't have enough, and the way I see it, most people don't have enough. Majority of them, if you put 100 people, 90% of them struggle with money all their lives, from the day they were born to the day they die. They never have enough. They struggle. They wait for the salary the next day. It's pain. It doesn't matter their profession. It doesn't matter their society, their status in society. If they are honest, if they are faithful people, if they don't cheat, if they don't lie, and if they have to live on only their salary, most people struggle. Because cost of living is always going up, and you are adding a lot of things. And even if you only have enough for yourself, you would want to help somebody, and there will always be somebody which you have to help. But you can't do much until you have much. You know, so the financial knowledge starts with what you know. So the quest for it. And for the entrepreneur, if you don't have the financial knowledge, you are going to go and come, you are going to go and drop. Today you are doing well, tomorrow you drop. Today you are doing well, tomorrow you drop. Today you are doing well, tomorrow you drop. Why? Because many of the activities that you're doing as an entrepreneur, whether it's the salary that you're paying, whether it's the product that you're ordering, whether it's the electricity from the office, whether it's the car that you're repairing, the telephone, the internet data, anything that you're doing has to do with money in your business. And so if your base knowledge and finances are weak, your business is never going to succeed. Your business is never good. You're going to struggle. Or you see an entrepreneur who is struggling, anybody who's trying to build business who is struggling, go and check the level of financial knowledge that they have. Because you will continue to struggle until that financial knowledge is translated into proper financial skill and discipline. Then you start to see that the business starts to make sense to you. You know, so but without it, the knowledge is just about 5 to 10% of the wealth that anybody else is creating. But without it, you can't build anything on it. And so don't deceive yourself. Solve this, study it, be diligent with it, because life, they control the world. Those who control who? They control because of the money. Those who have the money are controlling those who don't have. It's just basic premise of life. You know, so don't leave your financial future to hope. Leave it with a plan, strategy. Discipline yourself. Have a plan to acquire that knowledge. Today I'm talking about knowledge. Just discipline yourself. Have a plan to say that I want to read something about money. Even if you can't buy a book. Read an article every now and then. on the internet. We live in an age that information is there, and yet you can meet some people. The only thing that they feed on are the things that will never get their lives better. You can't trivialize it. Where you see an opportunity and you don't have money. When you see opportunity. So don't feed yourself so much with politics and sports and entertainment and comedy, because in the part of the world, or in this world in general, the world is run on foolishness. I'm sorry to say this, but they choke us with a lot of things that will not solve anything. They just want you to forget about your problems, but you can't forget about the problems until you solve them. So you see, you look at the TV programs that they put out there. You don't get any value. You just smile, you just laugh, hey, and that's it. But tomorrow morning will come, and you still have to pack yourself and go to work, and you pain, you struggle to go to work. You don't like it, but the only reason you have to go to that work is what? It's because you need that money. And yet, when you have free time, the very thing that you are working for all your life, you don't even know it. You don't even study it. Because they told us it's not important. Life is fun. Life is not fun if you're broke. You can't have fun if you can't solve the money problem. You know, so take it as a serious issue. Study it. You never know where it will take you to. Study it. Buy a book. Read. Go to the library or go to the bookshop or Google the internet or something like that. Or go to Amazon, Kindle. Just start to educate yourself. You educated yourself as an accountant, you educated yourself as a lawyer, you educated yourself as a carpenter, as a politician, as a Christian or something. But now study the money. Study it. Don't trust. If you don't have it, if you're struggling with it, it means that there's something that you don't know. That's why we continue to struggle. You know, so take it as the next 5 years I'm going to study. And I'm going to study from the people who have done it, the people who have it. It's no joke. I'm not going to read novels. I don't read novels. I don't read things that I read things that I want to see, principles that I can apply to improve my life. And one of it is to study the money all the time. So my name is Obedako. I'm trying to talk about the quest or a quest for financial knowledge as entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurship is mainly about risk, and why it's risky is that money is involved and you can lose it in no time, and you lose it because you have not mastered it. You don't have the skill. Most of it that we lose, we waste a lot of resources. We get into financial difficulties and problems because we didn't know much. So what if maybe your parents taught you nothing about money, the school taught you nothing about money, the culture is trying to make you just dance. You see the Africans, they're always playing drum and dancing, they solve nothing. That's why we continue to wallow in poverty, because we don't go for, without the right knowledge, there's not much we can do. That is basic fact of life. We are all running according to the level of knowledge that we have. So you as an entrepreneur, study, read, learn. If you don't get it right, you go and you fall on it. You go and you fall on it. You go and you fall on it until you get your lessons right. You know, until you get your lessons right. And so the quest or a quest for financial knowledge as an entrepreneur is critical. Don't believe so many things about the difficulties. If you have let's say you have a business and you have a lot of difficulties, don't blame it on a lot of things. Blame it, take the responsibility yourself to say that there's something I don't know and I have to correct this. You know, and then you start to, start the journey. Find out, read, go and learn it. If they say something you don't know, learn it. All the people that control a lot of wealth around this world, the billionaires that we always look at them and we admire them, there's something they know that we don't know. And they were not born with those things that they know. They committed themselves to learn them. They studied them. When everybody else was dancing, they were studying them. You think that they made wrong decisions and choices with their finances in their companies, that's why they became billionaires? No. They made them, they corrected them, they made them, they corrected them, and they became better. And so now they have powerful too, which is the knowledge. That's why you go and take everything from them, give them 5 years, they'll get back up. Why? Because there's something that they know. And that's something about knowledge. Once you have it, nobody can take it from you. So you use your time to acquire the right knowledge as an entrepreneur. Learn it, read. If you don't understand how to read the financials, go and get it. You don't have to. Just ask somebody, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? You don't let them laugh at you. Doesn't matter. Continue to ask the questions. Continue to ask the questions. Once you are able to take charge of the finances in your business, you have a fair chance of succeeding. And then you don't have to cheat and lie to get it, because now you have the right tools to make it. So it gets to a point it starts to make sense to you, because then you would have paid the right price to become better with your finances. So entrepreneurship is tough, and is dangerous if you have weak financial knowledge. It's so dangerous if your financial knowledge is weak. You will be you'll be destroyed. So that's why you can see the guy, he has a project, he doesn't do the mathematics, he just go and takes, he goes to this microfinance, takes loan, they charge him 5%, and they and he doesn't even know that the 5% is going to kill everything. He doesn't know. Why? Because his financial knowledge is weak. He doesn't do any mathematics. He thinks that then next time, 5 months down the line, they're chasing him with, they're chasing for they're going to his house, his church, everywhere to take their money, and the guy cannot even track where the money went. He may not be a bad person, but he just has weak financial knowledge. And so study it, ask questions. Without it, nobody has a fair chance. And your dream is limited if your finances are limited. The guy with money can do a lot. Look at all these big businesses. They started in IT, now they are going to space. Why? Because once they started to get the money, they could just explore anything, even if they lost it. So the moment if you start to make the finances right, and your business starts to work, there are so many other things that you can enter just because you have your finances right. So, but if you mess up, and nobody else is responsible. If you started the business, you are responsible for the finances. Nobody else. The business is going to fail if you mess up and you develop. The level of your development is the level of the business. Because nobody's business is yours. So study the finances. Study. I know people who have tried to build businesses. They go to this one, they fail. They go to this one, they fail. They go to this one, they fail. Why? Because the finances, it doesn't even occur to us that our financial knowledge is weak. That's why we're struggling. So quest, go and look for it. Go and study it. Go and look for it, or go and study it. It will not get better until your financial knowledge gets better. Don't play with it and think that things will change. It's likely that what they told you in school is not true. It's likely that what they are telling you in the culture is not true. It's likely that what they told you to something is doing you is not true. Much of it is your responsibility. And the better your financial knowledge, the better you have the chance to win. So look at how you spend the money, look at how the income is coming in, look at how you can grow the money and maybe multiply it. So you study instead of you wasting time to play dummy and jokes and watching a lot of movie. If your financial knowledge is not, the people who can watch all those things are not those who are struggling. But if your business is not making any sense, and if your financials are not good at the personal level, that's not the time to joke and play. That's not the time to say that it doesn't matter, money. Go and solve it, because it matters. If you see people who have gone into retirement, and the way they are waiting for some organization to send them peswa every month, you will see that financial knowledge is crucial. Financial knowledge is crucial. So many people will struggle all their lives. Majority of the world's population will struggle every time with money. You don't need to steal to get it. You just have to build proper financial knowledge to get it. And so if you're an entrepreneur, create the right atmosphere, create the right development plan for yourself, study it, learn it, and with it, you can build a good financial skill. And hopefully, the struggles will reduce. And so thank you very much for watching. My name is Medako. Thank you very much.